The cold handcuffs bit into her wrists, and the fluorescent lights of the convenience store reflected harshly off her dark skin. She stood perfectly still as two uniformed officers loomed over her. "Ma'am, this check you're trying to deposit," one officer began. His voice clipped, judgmental. "I'm telling you, it's real," she said calmly, her tone steady despite the rising tension. Her heart hammered behind her chest, not from fear, but from knowing how easy it was for people to assume the worst. "Step aside," the other officer barked, his eyes scanning her like she was a criminal by nature. She exhaled slowly, her gaze level, unreadable, as if she had all the time in the world. The world, however, didn't see it that way. Not today. Not when a black woman dared to walk in with authority and a bank check. Her name was Agent Simone Carter, and she had spent the past 2 years undercover investigating white-collar fraud that stretched across 3 states. Every detail had been meticulous: the fake company, the forged documents, the carefully constructed persona, but nothing could prepare her for being handcuffed in broad daylight by men who didn't know who she was. The store manager hovered nearby, eyes darting nervously. "I am sorry, officer. She's just trying to cash her check," he stammered. "Just trying to cash it. Lady, do you know what kind of trouble you're causing?" The taller officer snapped. He leaned closer, scanning her ID, ignoring her calm explanations. Simone's mind raced not with panic, but with strategy. Every movement, every word had to appear natural. One wrong glance, one unnecessary flinch, and the operation could collapse. A crowd had begun to gather, phones out, some whispering, some filming. She could feel the weight of their stares, the assumptions stacked against her because of her skin. The shame they were trying to impose felt almost tangible. "Are you resisting?" the officer asked, his voice sharp, almost accusatory. "No," Simone replied, her voice steady, controlled. "I'm not resisting. I just want to clarify that the check is legitimate." Minutes felt like hours. The other customers shuffled uneasily, some glancing at her with sympathy, most with judgment. She caught a child staring wide-eyed from behind a mother's skirt, innocent, untainted by prejudice yet. Finally, the taller officer took a step back. "We'll verify this at the station." Simone's jaw tightened. The humiliation of being treated like a criminal burned, but she forced herself to walk calmly. Every step echoed her resolve. She wasn't just a black woman in cuffs. She was a federal agent, a trained professional, capable of controlling the narrative. At the police station, she was placed in a holding room, the clink of metal against metal echoing around her. The officers exchanged glances, murmuring to each other about paperwork, legalities, and liability. Simone didn't flinch. She waited. Then, the taller officer glanced at her ID again. Something clicked in his expression, a hesitation, a question that hadn't been there before. "This FBI?" he asked, disbelief coloring his voice. "Yes," she replied, lifting her head, letting the weight of authority fill the room. "You just handcuffed a federal agent conducting an investigation." The room went silent. The weight of realization hit them. Their assumptions, their quick judgments, their biases, they all crumbled in an instant. Simone calmly explained the case she was working on. Multi-million-dollar fraud, shell corporations, embezzlement, every detail confirmed by the federal badge she now held openly. The officers' faces shifted from judgment to regret, their shoulders slumping under the invisible burden of their mistake. "Ma'am, we didn't know," one officer stammered, his hands twisting nervously. "I understand," Simone said softly, her voice carrying both authority and forgiveness. "But it's important to recognize the consequences of assumptions. Not everyone who looks different is guilty. Not every black woman carrying a check is a criminal." Word of the incident spread quickly. Footage from bystanders, phones went viral, sparking debates on social media about racial profiling and assumptions. But Simone didn't speak publicly. Her job required discretion. The officers involved apologized formally, not just to her, but to the department head. Simone accepted, her expression calm but firm. Justice, in this case, wasn't about punishment. It was about learning. Later that day, she returned to her investigation, her mind clear and focused. The incident reinforced the truth she already believed. Courage and professionalism could never be defined by skin color, and integrity required patience, resilience, and quiet strength. Back at the precinct, one officer whispered to the other, shaking his head, "I can't believe we handcuffed her." "The FBI?" "Yeah," the other replied. "We learned the hard way." Simone walked past them, shoulders squared, her head high. Outside, the sun reflected off the concrete, bright and unyielding. She paused for a moment, letting the warmth hit her face. She had faced prejudice, humiliation, and doubt, and emerged, not broken, but stronger. Her story didn't end with cuffs, cameras, or whispers. It ended with a lesson, carried quietly in the hearts of those who had judged too quickly. Because in the end, Simone Carter reminded the world that hate divides, but professionalism, courage, and respect heal. People are far more than appearances, and true strength isn't shown in how others treat you, it's shown in how you respond. As she walked to her car, the city around her buzzed obliviously, but she didn't mind. She had already won. We are all more than what people assume. Courage, professionalism, and integrity speak louder than prejudice. And sometimes, the world needs a reminder that respect is earned, not assumed.